Hi everybody, my name is Rob Jolliffe and we're going to jump into another Sabre Expert Series. This time we're going to talk about the terminology Print MIS and ERP and why do we have these two different terms and what do they mean. So let's jump into it. All right. So what we're going to talk about today is the difference between Print MIS and ERP, and we might find that there aren't a lot of differences between them. It's more of a semantic difference, but let's dive into it a little bit. Before we get started, I'm Rob Jolliffe. I'm an expert in Microsoft Dynamics Business Central, ERP systems, and manufacturing, and I'm becoming more knowledgeable about the print industry and print manufacturing and Print MIS systems. The purpose or the assumption I'm making if you're watching this video is that you're probably on the smaller side of manufacturing. You're probably a print manufacturing company, but you're not a 5,000 employee print manufacturing company. You might be a 500 employee print manufacturing company. You might be a 50 or 20 employee print manufacturing company, but you're not that huge Fortune 1,000 size business. And you're most likely, with an MIS system, you might have outgrown QuickBooks or some smaller accounting systems. Now you're looking like, what do I do? How do I upgrade? Where do I go from here? And you want to evaluate these possibilities. If you look in the description below, you'll find a link to my calendar. And if you'd like to book a quick meeting with me to go over this video or any other video, I welcome you to. I really love having conversations with people who've watched our content. Just leave me a quick note about what you'd like to discuss so that I can be prepared for our meeting and I can answer your questions. So there's two terms, before we get too deep into this, there's two terms I want to define. One is MIS, and MIS means Management Information System. The other term is ERP, and ERP refers to Enterprise Resource Planning. So these two terms, MIS and ERP, they have very different, like the acronyms mean different things, but the software themselves are quite similar in a lot of ways with a few adjustments or exceptions. So if we go back to the beginning of where these terms came from, they came from early business software that was introduced in the 1960s and 1970s. And typically introduced into these really large Fortune 100 businesses. And manufacturing companies tended to be early adopters of these software packages because they had the most complex needs. Typically, what ended up happening was we ended up with an accounting software capability and an inventory management software capability, often called MRP, Material Resource Planning. So as time went on, the MRP modules and the accounting modules, they became more sophisticated. MRP did more accounting capabilities in it, or accounting had more MRP capabilities in it. And they began to move down market. So smaller and smaller businesses were able to afford it. And in the beginning, there was like a bit of a difficulty trying to come up with a term for these because it wasn't MRP any longer. MRP meant just the inventory management, and maybe now it was starting to have production scheduling and production management and other capabilities in it. And in some cases, it was even having the accounting blended right into the system so that the accounting and the payroll and the materials and inventory were all together. So there were some terms that were being sort of thrown out in the 80s and 90s. And these included MRP2, MIS, and ERP. So those are the two terms, obviously, that we're looking at. Now, ERP today refers to a single software package that integrates your accounting, your production scheduling, your material handling, your warehousing, your MRP capabilities, the CRM system, all under one blanket product that's all integrated. And this is, I think, a little bit of where MIS stuck around, because until recently, most of the print MIS systems, per my research that I've been able to look into, they didn't really incorporate the accounting directly in the system. They always had the ability to connect an accounting system to the MIS system. So you might choose Dynamics GP, you might choose QuickBooks, but you weren't using one consolidated system that had everything in it. Again, until recently, because the MIS systems have begun adding this. So the modern print MIS systems are beginning to adopt the term ERP because they're beginning to implement the accounting within them. So as a good example, the EPS system's PACE software package is now being referred to as PACE ERP/MIS or PACE ERP. I've seen it on some of their marketing collateral. So this is a sort of a new development that the term ERP is beginning to enter the market. But I believe the reason that it's being resisted is because the true ERP vendors would point out that the MIS solutions that lacked accounting, they're not real ERPs. So the MIS companies were keeping the name MIS, but that got to the point where it became a distinction that MIS meant print capabilities and ERP meant something differently. Now, what's happening is that the more traditional ERP vendors like Microsoft are beginning to add or acquire print capabilities into their systems. And it's almost now becoming defined that the print specific capabilities are referred to as the print MIS parts of the ERP system. So the ERP system is bigger and the MIS is just the part of it that's print specific. Microsoft Dynamics with PrintVis is an example of that. So Microsoft Dynamics Business Central itself has no print capabilities within it. PrintVis is an add-on that is completely embedded within the system. So it retains the behavior of an ERP because it's not two different systems that talk to each other. It's one integrated software package, but it has these print MIS capabilities added into the ERP. So that, I think that gets a little bit back to why there are two terms. As I've been mentioning, ERP systems usually don't have print capabilities within them. The print capabilities were very niche, and they were very focused in on a particular business segment. And the ERP systems tried to be more broad and horizontal. So because of that, I think that, and in particular, the print estimating is not part of ERP systems that I've ever seen in my career. And I have over 30 years of working with ERP systems. So I'm really, really familiar with what they do and they don't do. And it was new to me to see the print estimating when I began to get involved in the print industry. Within the industry, I think the term ERP, when print companies were approached by ERP vendors and said, "Oh, we sell an ERP system, you should look at it." And when they looked at it, they began realizing, well, these don't have print features. So ERP became associated with a type of software that doesn't have print MIS capabilities. Print MIS became the software that they would look for. And the average ERP vendors, therefore, have almost zero print industry expertise because their software doesn't really work within that industry, and the industry itself has adopted kind of it's not quite anti-ERP, but just ERP has gotten a bad name to a degree within the industry because ERP always inferred these products that don't have anything to do with print. So there's all these bad associations with the term ERP, and I think that's why MIS still survives to this day. And it's a more common term within the industry just because of that bad history. So historically, MIS, when you go back far enough, it referred to systems that didn't have integrated accounting capabilities, but maybe did integrate the production scheduling and the material planning and the estimating into one system. Modern MIS are actually better defined as ERP. Most of the better quality, higher end modern MIS systems are really ERP systems. They've integrated the accounting into that product. And there is a general kind of, as these cloud solutions become available that are very extensible and it's easy to write add-ons for them, we're starting to see some cloud solutions like Microsoft Dynamics Business Central, which is a really well-known cloud ERP system, incorporate print capabilities into it through third parties that are more industry specific to print. So I think that the main ERP vendors that you find out in the market that sell NetSuite or Microsoft or Sage or those products probably have very little print industry expertise, and it's going to be a while before we see that move to the term ERP. But essentially, MIS and ERP today are synonymous. So as always, if you like this video, check out the links in it and look at the other videos and articles that I've written or we've written that are linked below. And also, please don't hesitate to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us. We're trying to do new videos weekly, whether videos like this one or we have a series of videos on cybersecurity and IT, as well as videos showing demonstrations of the software products that we sell or from friendly vendors that we really like and think that we should be promoting on our channel. Finally, if you'd like to reach out, we're easily found at www.sabrelimited.com. You can email us at sales@sabrelimited.com. That will come to me. And my LinkedIn profile is LinkedIn/Rob Jolliffe. Thanks so much. Have a great day.